Good afternoon, fans. This is your girl from Mel's Chat, and this is episode 307. How is everybody doing? I actually got better internet today, so I'm hoping that it doesn't fuck up here because I am telling you, I am not in the mood at all, whatsoever. So, I hope everybody's having a great Friday afternoon. I'm having a great Friday afternoon so far, so good. So, we have a lot to talk about. We've got the releases today, what I'm going to think about because Vince McMahon could be pushed out by Ari Emanuel, and the deal with USA and NBC Universal. So those are the three big topics that I'm going to cover before we get into the rundowns of all what's going on this week. So that is basically what's going on now. All right, let's get into it. Let's just dive right in. Please do me a favor and go check out the people over at Meister Classics at maestroclassics.com. Visit their website for all your beard essentials. Beard for the facial hair. Do me a favor also, please go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com, and you can go murder your thirst with the greatest artillery known to man with uh, regular spring water, unflavored sparkling water, flavored sparkling water, and iced tea. Also, please go check out Death Wish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com, and you can seriously get really good coffee, and it'll keep you up, and there is absolutely no issues with that. Also, please do me a favor and go check out the people over at HOG Wrestling at hogwrestling.net. Lots going on there. You want to get what's going on, please go check out the website. There was an event, and you were able to check out El Helio Vikingo compete at Fallout. Minoru Suzuki is making his HOG presence, and it should be good. He's going to be going against Charles Mason, I believe, for the Crown Jewel Championship. So if you want to get on the ball with that, go get your tickets, or go get your tickets at HOG Wrestling. And if you want to see it, it's on the Premier app at $9.99 a month. Sorry, $9.99 a month. All right, let's get to the big. I didn't want to say anything yesterday. There was a shitload of people have lost their jobs yesterday, and there was a lot of two shockers actually. We had Dolph Ziggler and Mustafa Ali that have been released, and I am completely shocked about that. I really thought that they were going to keep them. I mean, for Christ's sakes, Mustafa Ali has had a match between on at NXT No Mercy for the North American Championship, and he was supposed to take on Dirty Dom Mysterio for the North American Championship, and now he's not going to be able to. So what I think is going to happen is that there was supposed to be a match for the title on Monday. What I think they're going to do is probably postpone that and make that the match for No Mercy, or it could be that they're just going to possibly plug somebody else in who deserves it. We had a bunch more. We had a bunch more who was released from main roster and NXT. We had the main roster departure. We had Aaliyah, Shelton Benjamin, Rick Boogs, Dana Brooke, Elias, Mate Massey, Emma Mansoir, Rick Moss, Shanky, Top Dollar, and Dolph Ziggler. NXT departures with Dabby Kato, Quincy Elliott, Ika Manjiro, and Ulisa Leon. We had from the PC, we had Brooklyn Barlow, Alexis Gray, Daniel McArthur, and Kevin Ventura Cortez. Do I see any more? I don't know. But I woke up this morning and I saw Ika Minjiro gone. I think they should have kept him. He was a mainstay on Level Up, and he was that, older guy that was able to, be that gatekeeper for that brand. But he wasn't doing anything, obviously. So who am I to, judge here? Um, do I see some of them going to AEW? Absolutely. They won't be. They won't be given contracts, but they will be doing dates, definitely. I can definitely see them adding, let's see, definitely Dolph Ziggler. And I would love to see them add Shelton Benjamin. Dana Brooke is a wild card. She could possibly maybe renegotiate her contract. Maybe they can restructure her contract. Maybe they can rehire her, but for a cheaper rate. Who knows? But I was shocked that Dana Brooke got fired. She was one of those like, um, put her anywhere as long as she's on TV type person. So, um, but crazy, crazy times, crazy times. Now I'm going to give you my opinion on what's going to go on with the USA situation with getting them the uh SmackDown next year at 2024. Um, they're going to fight tooth and nail to keep Raw and NXT. They're not going to want them to have go on another network knowing that they can have everything. That means the Peacock, everything, they'll sweeten the deal. I said this yesterday, no more than $5 billion that they're going to get. Hey, Chris, how you doing today? So, I'm no more than $5 billion, and they're going to get the entire um brand of WWE. They may even ask. That's great, Chris. I'm doing well myself. I'm just a wee bit tired. Um, what I am thinking is that they may even give them a little bit more to maybe add maybe an hour UFC show on NBC Sports or something to be able to sweeten the pot a little bit. So it's going to be very interesting in the next like 16-18 months where everything is going to lie and everything. um I would love to see everything under one umbrella. It's a lot easier for me, especially on when I'm watching wrestling during the week and doing what I need to go do and everything. It's so much easier. Do you have any idea how many times it took me almost a year and a half to think, oh, SmackDown's not on USA anymore. I got to put it on my local station, which is Fox 5 here in New York, which was a pain in the ass. And, it was that it took me so long. Now it's going to go like, it's going to be like muscle memory. Put it on 38, which is here in, here for, Cablevision, which is Optimum here in my cable carrier or my internet carrier. So it should be very interesting. And on top of it, it could go on a network. That means we don't have to hear what we heard on Fox 5. We could actually hear asshole. Like, you are an asshole. And we could actually hear it and not be censored, which is another situation. All fine and good. Plus, Fox doesn't have that many affiliates. So if like we were all stuck going to FS1 if it's being pulled off of Fox 5. So what's going to happen is that NBC Universal has wiggle room. They could put it on maybe a Bravo one Monday night. They could put it on a E network. They could put it on different networks. So when USA is busy, we can theoretically go to another station, which makes things easier for WWE and everybody in control. Um, Now I'm moving on. I thought Impact was great. Impact, oh my god. I sat down, I was watching it, and it felt like it was only an hour, not even 45 minutes, and it was over. That's how good it was. And this is my fifth time giving it a shot, and I've been watching it almost 2 months, and I'm completely satisfied with it. Um Will I be including it in here? Absolutely not. That is something I just do on a Thursday night and relax and actually be able to not be the critic that I am when it comes to AEW and WWE. But oh my God, it was so good. I was so good. It was so good. Little nostalgia with the with Shark Boy, which whoever thought of that gimmick, my hat's off to him. It's hilarious. Um, Also, I like the women's match was fun. It was chaotic, but it was fun. Um, I'm really liking the whole thing with Alex Shelley and Josh Alexander. So it should be interesting. I think it's Victory Road that's coming up. I don't know what day that's going to fall on. I'm going to check it. If I'm able to, I'll see if I can cover it. If I can't, please don't hate me. I got too much shit going on right now. Because other than this, I actually adult other than this. So, forgive me. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this whole show. Vince McMahon possibly being forced out by Ari Emanuel. This is our saving grace right now. If the feds and everything are pushing him, he's going to fucking goddamn end up so he doesn't go to jail. This is exactly what's going to happen. They're going to say, we will not put you in jail. We will not go forth with charges. This is what you got to do. And the feds better do their fucking job and make sure that there's no loophole where he can come back and fucking like, oh, 1992 toot. I can't believe I just did that. But anywho, they need to make sure like we're not going to pursue charges. You're going to resign. You are no longer being able to be in this company. It's done. You are no longer part of WWE. You're no longer part of TKO. You cannot be there. If you don't, we'll press charges and then you'll end up in prison. Okay? And that means he can't serve on the board anyway. If he's a convicted felon, you can't serve on a publicly traded company, which makes even funnier. Oh my God, after 70 plus years, fucking Vince McMahon is a felon. I think that would be fucking hilarious. Linda McMahon, oh my God, would be fucking laughing her ass off because they're still married. They're still married. It's like, oh, well, that's my husband. I'm going to go in and I'm going to take his place. Could you imagine she going in, making a decision saying, I am no longer going to run this. I'm going to bring in a woman that's been here and she I think is a better fit for this and she's known the ropes and everything. Place Stephanie McMahon back in power. Triple H takes his rightful place. Everything is perfect. We have the best WWE that we could ever imagine. And maybe Triple H will actually get a clue and say, you know what would make the fans go completely fucking crazy right now? Let's have a real Forbidden Door. Call up Tony and say, hey, Tone, I got a proposition for you. My father-in-law's out. Wife is back in. We're good to go. How about we fucking completely turn this goddamn industry upside down and let's both announce at a press conference, in about 2 weeks. Just have you say you're having a press conference, I'm having a press conference. We both walk out hand in hand and completely shock the fucking wrestling world. Do you understand? Do you understand the fucking craziness that would be? Holy shit. And what they would charge for the fucking goddamn event, it would be worth it. It would be worth it. And, having those two egos in the same room would be fucking phenomenal. I just got a notification that Gail Kim suffered a concussion at Impact 1000. So my thoughts and prayers are going out to her and Moxley. My God, he needs to slow his roll. And I'm not kidding. What's not going to slow roll? We are going to go on to what's been going on in the shows this week. But first, please do me a favor: like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for all notifications so when I go live, you know about it. Please do me that favor. Hi, Gangsta Man 10 with the little crowd emoji. Hey, how are you doing today? Welcome, welcome. I want to thank the new people have come in here. I want to thank my Twitter followers, all the followers that I have on all my social media, which you could go find out, and you can go and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, and I'm missing one. I know I'm missing one. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, Twitter X, and TikTok. I also opened a Cameo. So it's Melissa A. Klein or Mel's Match Chat. Go check all that out, and it's $5. It's nothing big. If you want me to call you an asshole, I'll call you an asshole. If you want me to wish your lovely mother dear a happy birthday from me and to you from you, you could do that. I could say, hey, Ma, you're gonna be a grandma. Something, any announcements or anything like that. I decided to open a Cameo. I'm having a little issues with my OnlyFans. Yes, I'm it's a pain in the ass. Saying that I'm using a filter on my picture, which I am not. Absolutely not. I'm not using any filters. But I opened a Cameo, so go check me out there. I will be tweeting it. I'm trying to figure out how to put the link in the description. I gotta look that up. I would like to put my links, like all my links, so it's easier. But it's all Mel's Match Chat, so it's not like a big deal or anything. So, and remember to like and please, I need a thumbs up. I need thumbs up. If you could give me a thumbs up and you don't want to share it, at least give me a thumbs up so we can get through this algorithm shit thing. That would be great. We're going to start with the Raw and SmackDown. I'm not getting into NXT. It hasn't been really worth it lately. We all know that Becky Lynch is the women's champion, so big fucking whoop-de-doo. That's another fucking situation, which I'm not going to get into because due to the fact is I'll fucking legitimately obliterate her. She shouldn't be doing this at all. She legitimately buried Tiffany Stratton, which I'm not a Tiffany Stratton fan, but Jesus Christ, even I know that she got buried. So, I'm not going to be worried about that, but I will be worried about Raw and SmackDown from last week and on Monday. John Cena and Grayson Waller, which he was on the Grayson Waller effect. So we had last Friday we had the main attraction of the event, including John Cena involvement with Grayson Waller and the Waller effect, and a clash between AJ Styles and Finn Balor. And that was supposed to be last week, but because of The Rock, they had to redo the whole situation. We had Asuka squaring off against Bayley, and LA Knight took on The Miz for hopefully the last time. So we start off, and this is where The Rock made his surprise appearance on SmackDown. So we start off the event. We start off SmackDown. Pat McAfee's music, and he walks to the ring. He gets on the mic and says he was nearby when he heard that WWE was in the city. He took the opportunity to be here. Austin Theory's music, and he came out to the ring. Austin Theory says this is Austin Theory live. He says there is nothing he can do about it. He says they have unfinished business. He says he's going to drop him in a couple seconds, and he's going to go back to his show. Pat says he's not going to do a thing, and he mocks Theory for looking at him. He says he doesn't want to fight. Pat says Theory is so disrespectful to the business and the fans. He says this is the people's show. The Rock's music comes on, and he comes out, and he heads to the ring. Austin Theory asks if The Rock knows whose ring it is. Uh-oh. The Rock asks him to shut up and tells him he doesn't know how this works. He removes his jacket, and by the way, whomever got that jacket, you scored. You didn't have to buy any fucking more souvenirs. And whoever had tickets to that night, you got yourself a bona fide treat. And that is awesome. That is awesome, knowing that you got to see The Rock on a very rare occasion. He says yes. He says he has come back to Denver. Then Theory finally says the people get to see them in the ring, which is Austin and The Rock. He said he's going to be the entire Mount Rushmore. He then uses The Rock's catchphrases. The Rock says it matters what he doesn't matter what he says, and it doesn't matter more what the people says. He imitates Austin. He says it's The Rock show. He insults Theory, and he goes to show him using the fans, which is you are an asshole. It was so fucking censored, it wasn't even funny. The Rock says Theory comes out and makes fun of people, and he says he's going to beat him up in 3 seconds. Theory asks The Rock, but comes back with a spine buster. He hits the people's elbow on Theory. Then Pat does the people's elbow, and we go on. So then after this whole situation, and I apologize, I'm thinking we had the match with Finn Balor and Styles, but it was really, really fucking short, and it was nothing like their match years ago, and we get gypped all the time with this. But Jesus Christ, fucking these two Bullet Club brothers can't. When they say it's Bullet Club for life, it's Bullet Club for life. Jesus Christ. So we have Finn Balor versus AJ Styles. The match starts, and Styles hits a neck breaker, and Balor comes back with a drop kick. Styles returns with a drop kick and a back breaker. Go back from commercial break. Styles attacks Balor in the corner. He sets up Balor on the top rope, but is shoved down. He recovers and hits a neck breaker, sending Balor out of the ring. Styles dives onto him and sends him into the ring. Priest grabs Styles' leg, and the referee ejects Dominic and Priest from ringside. Styles goes for Styles Clash, but Jimmy Uso distracts Styles, and Balor rolls him up for the win. And winner, Finn Balor. I was hoping that Pat McAfee was going to do commentary. Oh, I would have loved that. I would have loved them kicking out KP. I would have been great. It would have been fucking awesome. Pat and The Rock are backstage discussing their segment. They run into John Cena. They hug it out. Jimmy Uso is backstage. Balor thanks him for the assist. Jimmy says they are even for last week. Balor says the Usos can join the Judgment Day. Jimmy says they are good, but he says there are no leaders in the Judgment Day, which means there's no Roman. That means they can do whatever they want. They don't have to answer to anybody, yada, yada, yada. LWO is in the ring. Rey Mysterio says he loves the LWO, loves and respects the LWO. He says when he came to SmackDown last year, he was going through one of the toughest times of his life. He says LWO reminded him who he is and what his family represents, and now he is the U.S. champion. And he has a family that is united and stronger than ever. So Santos Escobar says their family are champions. He says Ray stepped up when Theory attacked him. He says it was his dream to face Rey Mysterio with the title on the line. He accepts Mysterio. He asks Mysterio if he will face him for the United States Championship. Ray accepts his challenge. So Bobby Lashley's music plays, and he comes out with the Street Profits. Lashley says they have tag teams crumbling around them. He said it's going to be easier to take over. Dawkins says Ray is giving out opportunities while challenges them to a fight. Quick as a fucking, you blink, it was over. And I'm not joking. Hey, Alyssa. So it's LWO versus the Street Profits. Wild goes aerial and misses. The Street Profits hit their double T move and get the pinfall. Street Profits win. After the match, they attacked Wild and Del Toro. Santos and Ray stopped them. Lashley attacks Santos from behind. The Street Profits take out Rey Mysterio. So we go to commercial break and we come back. We have LA Knight versus The Miz. The match begins with LA Knight knocks down The Miz. The Miz attacks LA Knight in the corner. Knight comes back with a neck breaker. He then hits a shoulder tackle, cover 1-2 kick out. The Miz knocks down Knight with the knees to the midsection. The Miz is sent into the turnbuckle. Knight hits a neck breaker and follows it up with a bulldog. The Miz pokes Knight in the eye and plants him. We come back from commercial break. The Miz kicks Knight multiple times. Cover 1-2 kick out. Knight knocks down Miz and follows it with a DDT. He stomps the Miz in the corner. The Miz goes for a DDT, but Knight holds on to the rope. The Miz comes back and plants Knight. Cover 1-2 kick out. The Miz goes for a kick and misses. Knight hits a BTF for the win, and LA Knight wins. Aw, thank you for the hearts. Thank you. So then after the match, we have Knight gets on the mic and says he told everybody that he is coming for gold. He said he looks at the top of the mountain. He sees a lot of options. He says he is at the top. He is in the top 2, but he is not second. Paul Heyman and Solo Sikoa are watching in the segment in the back. Solo says he will handle the LA Knight problem. Heyman says Reigns hasn't given the order yet. He says they should focus on Jimmy Uso, who's fighting with everyone, and Solo says he will have to fight that battle. Solo says he knows what he needs to do. He is going to finish it tonight. Solo walks away. Heyman asks who gave that order, and he calls Reigns. It's like when the cat's away, the mice will play, basically. Aw, thank you so much, Chris. I love you too. I love everybody. Thank you. In the Chad Gable voice. Come back from commercial break. Pretty Deadly comes into Pierce's office, who tells them they can compete. Prince says he's scared by his injury. Pierce says the shoulder is healing and asks why he's in a wheelchair. Prince says some scars can't be healed. Wilson encourages Prince and they will be back better than ever. Bailey is with Dakota Kai and she says she hopes Io is ready against Asuka. Dakota tells her she has to show up against Asuka. She asks Bailey is ready for Asuka. So we go to that match. But before that, we come back from commercial break. The Judgment Day are discussing something backstage. And then we go to the match in the ring. So the match begins with Bailey knocks down Asuka. Asuka comes back with a dropkick, sending Bailey out of the ring. Bailey sends Asuka into the post. We come back from commercial break. Asuka is in the armbar, but Bailey escapes. Asuka hits a German suplex. Asuka with a vicious kick. She attacks her in the corner and follows it up with another kick. Asuka locks in the ankle lock. Bailey escapes and Asuka with a face buster. Cover 1-2 kick out. She transitions into an armbar and Bailey rolls out of the ring. Bailey slams Asuka on the apron. Shotzi appears at ringside and chases Bailey into the ring. Asuka rolls her up for the win and Asuka picks up the victory. Speaking of Shotzi, if you do yourself a favor, go on to WWE's YouTube page. They have like a Ghost Adventures thing with Scarlett. Unbelievable. The first guests are Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley. Highly, you go. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. And I'm telling you, they have a gold mine on this. They have a gold mine. If they do this around this time each year, it's a thing that you're going to look forward to. Like, oh, it's almost Halloween. Oh, their ghost hunting show is on, and you get to see them, and it branches that out because that could be a fucking thing on Peacock. They could bring that to Peacock with the WWE production behind it. You got yourself a fucking gold mine. The Rock is coming back, taking Conan. Yeah. That whole thing is a fucking mess in a handbasket. The whole thing with Rock, Cody, and Roman. I feel this is, and I'm not the only one that thinks this. Night one, Rock puts over Roman. Roman has a fucking ego, and he's the real tribal chief, and he's taken the spot of the Rock. Then he goes in, and then he gets fucking basically he comes down to reality, basically. We come back from commercial break. Grayson Waller's in the ring with the Grayson Waller effect. He starts by saying he had some special guests on his show before, but tonight he has the greatest of all time. He says Cena's star is fading quicker than his hairline, but his rise to the top starts tonight. He then introduces John Cena. Cena comes out. Waller says it must be an honor for to be on his show. He said he asked Cena to be on his show for a reason. He says Cena needs some advice. He says Cena should sit back and watch the stars shine, but he had to make it all about him. He then says Cena got back in the ring as a special guest referee. Waller says Cena doesn't want to compete in the ring anymore. He then says Cena hasn't been the same since WrestleMania when he lost to Theory. Cena takes off his shirt. Jimmy Uso's music play and he walks out to the ring. Jimmy grabs the mic from Cena and says Waller has a point. He said nobody wants him here. He says everybody came to see him. Jimmy says Cena tries to embarrass him again. He could do it or he could get out of his ring. Solo comes out. Solo gets in Cena's face before he acts like he's going to attack Jimmy. Solo and then super kicks Cena and attacks him in the corner. AJ Styles comes out and attacks Jimmy Uso. Cena fights back against Solo and Styles kicks Uso. Cena hits a 5-knuckle shuffle. Cena goes for the attitude adjustment, but Solo saves Jimmy Uso. And that's it. They actually had a tag team match after the SmackDown went off. So I think maybe tonight, because it was so good, people were very receptive to it. Maybe that's the tag team match tonight. Then we're going to get a treat. We're going to have AJ Styles and Cena. Now on to Monday Night Raw. On Monday Night Raw promised another exciting night of action. Ricochet looks to get some revenge on Shinsuke Nakamura. Also scheduled tonight, it is a singles match between Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso. And then we also had at the beginning of the show was Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio. We open the show with Cody Rhodes. He comes out to the ring. He gets on the mic. He says he was interrupted last week, so he would like to talk about Jey Uso. Dominic Mysterio's theme music comes, and he comes out to the ring. Dominic says the only thing people need to know about Jey Uso is when he joins the Judgment Day. That will continue to be the most dominant faction in WWE. He says Mommy isn't here because she was injured last week by Nia Jax. He then says he will be dedicating his victory to Mommy. Cody asks if the crowd heard him, and they say no. Cody asks Dominic to repeat himself. Cody reiterates that Dominic said. He says maybe that is what will impress her enough to define their relationship. He says Dominic is more into her than she is into him. He then says Mommy has eyes for Jey Uso. Dominic says they're all family, and it isn't like that. Judgment Day's music plays, and we have Finn Balor and Damian Priest coming out. So the match starts with Cody Rhodes hits an uppercut. He then plants himself to the mat. Cody locks in a figure four leg lock. Cody sends to the apron. Balor knocks him off the apron. Dominic sends him into the ring and attacks him in the corner. Dominic goes for a three amigos. Cody escapes and hits Cody Cutter, and then he hits the crossroads for the win. And Cody Rhodes picks up the win. Nice fucking momentum for him to go into his title match with Dragon Lee and at the time Mustafa Ali. So then Owen says Jay is in the back on Raw because of Cody, and Cody says because Owens comes out. He says that's correct. Owens says Cody is well aware of what Jay did to a lot of people backstage. He asks why he thought it was a good idea bringing him to Raw. Cody says there's a lot of people to need to hear this, but the fans already know why. He says his job to make fans happy. He asks if the crowd likes Jey Uso, and they cheer. He said he's received a lot of second chances. Him coming back to WWE. So does Jay. Second chances, right? Possibly another guy coming back for a second chance. Cody says he should give them a second chance to show them why he has changed. He says the bloodline is now down a member. Sammy says Owens takes a bit longer to trust people. He says he knows Jey Uso. He says Owens doesn't have to give him a second chance, but he should. He says they have given each other second chances and they end up winning the tag team titles. Owens says he hears them. He says he will pretend that Jay is the reason they're not the tag team champions. He says he can't trust Jay, but he trusts them and he hopes they are right. We go to the second match. Kofi Kingston versus Ivar. This was a decent match. This was actually a decent match. So we have the match starts with Ivar knocked down Kofi. Kofi returns with a back elbow. Ivar knocks down Kofi Kingston. Kofi axe handle off the top rope. He then hits a clothesline. Kofi with a spinning kick. Cover 1-2 kick out. Ivar sends Kofi out of the ring and hits a splash off on Kofi. Come back from commercial break. Ivar hits a slide slam and follows it with a crossbody. Ivar goes for a splash and misses. Kofi hits a splash, cover 1-2 kick out. Kofi hits a crossbody, cover 1-2 kick out. Ivar comes back with a kick to the face. Kofi hits an SOS, cover 1-2 kick out. Kofi with a boom drop. Kofi goes for a trouble in paradise and misses. Ivar hits a double under powerbomb, cover 1-2 kick out. Ivar with a spinning heel kick. Cover 1-2 kick out. Ivar crushes Kingston in the corner. Ivar hits a moonsault on Kofi. Cover 1-2 kick out. Ivar sets him up on the top rope. Kofi hits a sunset flip powerbomb. He hits a trouble in paradise for the win, and Kofi Kingston picks up the win. Now, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods are in Australia right now. Speaking of Australia, February 24th, Perth, Australia. We're going to have the Elimination Chamber coming from Australia in the Omni Arena. So for the people, if there's anybody on here with me that are from Australia, you got the Elimination Chamber. Enjoy it, mates. Enjoy it. Ricochet. Sorry, going ahead of myself. Jackie interviews Ricochet, who says Nakamura thinks that tonight is a mind game against Seth Rollins. He says he is past Nakamura, but for the only reason he's facing him tonight is because he attacked him last week. He says tonight will be game over for Nakamura. The only thing that is game over is Triple H. Okay, sorry. Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke was coming out and he walks to the ring. Seth Rollins' music hits and he walks to the ring. Adam Pearce comes out with the security, but Rollins runs after Nakamura, who runs away and hides behind security personnel. So we come back from commercial break. The match begins and Nakamura kicks Ricochet in the face. Ricochet fights back with a drop kick. Cover 1, Nakamura gets his foot on the rope. Nakamura comes back with a sliding drop kick. Nakamura places him on the top rope and hits him with a running knee. Cover 1-2 kick out. Nakamura goes to work on Ricochet. Ricochet hits a moonsault 1-2 kick out. Nakamura attacks Ricochet in the corner. Nakamura goes for a sliding German suplex and misses. Ricochet hits a moonsault. We come back from commercial break. Ricochet hits Nakamura with a kick to the ring. And he hits Nakamura with a back elbow and follows it with a shooting star. Ricochet hits a crossbar body, cover 1-2 kick out. Nakamura sets him on the rope and kicks him, sending him to the floor. He goes for a Kinshasa, but Ricochet catches him with an enziguri. Nakamura tries to hit him with a steel chair, but escapes and super kicks him. Ricochet hits Nakamura with the chair. Winner, Shinsuke Nakamura via disqualification. Ricochet argues with the referee. Nakamura attacks him from behind. He then hits a Kinshasa and targets the leg of Ricochet. He hits Ricochet's leg with a chair. Seth Rollins comes out of the crowd and attacks Nakamura. He goes for a pedigree, but Nakamura counters it with a back body drop on the steel chair. Security personnel comes out to separate them as they both brawl. Nakamura slams Rollins onto the announcer's desk, and we go to commercial break. Seth Rollins struggles to walk to the trainer's room. Byron interviews Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Green says Shayna and Zoe aren't a real team. She says friendship makes a real team, and Piper and her are friends. Piper says they are not friends, and asks what country is she from. Green guesses Florida, and Niven walks away. Green tells Byron that they are going to show Shayna and Zoe what a real team is like. So we have Shayna Baszler versus Zoe Starks Shayna Baszler and Zoe Starks versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Quick fucking match. The match begins with, and the match begins. Starks knocks Green down. Green comes back with a drop kick. Niven tags in and attacks Zoe in the corner. Green tags in and continues the attack. Zoe comes back with a kick. Cover 1-2. Piper Niven makes the save. Shayna attacks Niven. Niven body slams her. Nia Jax attacks Niven from behind and sends her into the post. She hits a Samoan drop on Starks and follows it with the senton. She throws Green across the ring and attacks her in the corner. Jax attacks Shayna in the corner and hits an annihilator. So it was a no contest. So Pierce in the back is on the phone. Chad Gable interrupts him to ask about Seth. He says he beat Ludwig and asks him if he has to do it to get one more chance with Gunther. Pierce says he must earn his way in. Bronson Reed walks in and asks him to get to the back of the line. Gable challenges him. Pierce asks them to take their fight to the ring. So we're going to have this match like legitimately next. But before that, we have an interview with Jackie, who's interviewing Jey Uso, who says he has a lot of eyes on him. He said he's going to get physical with Drew tonight. Damian interrupts and says he is here to ask a favor. He said he wants Jey Uso in the Judgment Day, but he can't make the decision since it's a family. Damian says he knows about the bloodline, but they can be the family he's been looking for his whole entire life. He asks him to give him an answer by the end of Raw tonight. So the match begins with Bronson Reed and Chad Gable. And Gable tries to knock down Reed, but he's still on his feet. Reed hits him with a splash in the corner and follows it with a power slam. Reed headbutts Gable. Reed throws Gable into the turnbuckle and sends him out of the ring. We go to commercial break. Reed knocks down Gable. Reed with forearm strikes to Reed. He hits a diamond headbutt on Reed. Cover 1-2 kick out. Reed bulldozes Gable and goes for a senton, but Gable gets his knees up. Gable goes for a sleeper hold, but Reed slams him, and then he hits the tsunami for the win. So Bronson wins clean. So Gable doesn't deserve another title match. I need them to stretch this out. Have a nice big number when he drops the title to Gable. He'll do it in epic fashion, and he should do it possibly in the Elimination Chamber in February. If they could stretch it to fucking WrestleMania, mazel tov. We have Becky Lynch walking to the ring backstage. Come back from commercial break. Sammy and Owens are arguing backstage. Jay interrupts and asks him to say what he wants to say to his face. Owens says it won't be long before he runs to Judgment Day. Owens says he doesn't trust Jay whether he joins Judgment Day or not, and then he storms off. Sammy asks Jay to chill. He says Jay has a big decision to make tonight. Becky is in the ring. Becky Lynch gets on the mic and says she is the new NXT Women's Champion. She says winning the title wasn't on her list of the bingo list this year, but she learned this year to grab opportunities. Yeah, from new talent, which she's had opportunities up the yin yang. She says she wants to elevate this title to new heights. What? By burying new talent? Good job. She wants to test herself against the very best in the future. She wants to test herself against the very best the future has to offer, which is why she will be at NXT tomorrow, which is this past Tuesday. But tonight she's here in Utah. She knows there are many women in the back that want an opportunity. That's why she's offering an open challenge. So I'm thinking maybe a Candice LeRae or an Indy Hartwell or a Tegan Knox and everything. Tegan Knox was pulled to fight Xia Li. Let that sink in. Natalya that has been there for 15 years, which she needs a new fresh outlook on life. She needs, after her contract is up, I think she needs to go elsewhere for a little while. But that's right, because she's the new Bret Hart, and she needs to support that entire fucking clan. She can't have any children. She can't do whatever. She can't go and take time off because she's the breadwinner. So Natalya comes out and says, "No one who has worked harder for opportunities. She says she has been waiting patiently for her chance, and hence she accepts the challenge." Lynch tells her she was hoping to face someone who has never had an opportunity. Natalya calls her hypocritical before shoving her. Lynch accepts her challenge. Um, they're both hypocritical bitches, and they're cringe. And this match was fucking blink of an eye quick. So we had Natalya sends Lynch into the post. We go to commercial. Lynch knocks down Natalya. She hits a back exploder, suplex, cover 1-2 kick out. Lynch goes for a manhandle slam, but Natalya reverses and goes for a German suplex. Becky climbs to the top rope but is stopped. Natalya with a suplex, cover 1-2 kick out. Becky drives Natalya into the corner. Lynch with a missile dropkick. She sends her out of the ring. Lynch sends her back into the ring. Natalya comes back with a discus clothesline, cover 1-2 kick out. Lynch goes for a manhandle slam, but Natalya escapes out of it. Lynch rolls her up for the win, and Becky Lynch retains. We go to backstage with Dragon Lee, and they're interrupted by Dominic, who says he was distracted because Rhea wasn't by him at ringside. He says Pierce should punish Nia for what she did to Rhea, but instead Pierce is talking to Dragon Lee. He then says he doesn't like people with masks because he reminds him of his deadbeat dad. Dragon Lee says he doesn't see what Rhea sees in him. He then tells Dominic that he is going to beat him for the NXT North American Championship next week. My prediction for that is that is not going to happen. It's going to be like a no contest. Dragon Lee is going to get another opportunity, and it's going to be at No Mercy. Bam. Tommaso Ciampa versus Giovanni Vinci. The match begins with Vinci attacks Ciampa after Kaiser distracts him. Vinci with a clothesline to Ciampa. Vinci with a back suplex, cover 1-2 kick out. Ciampa fights back against Vinci with a clothesline. Ciampa hits a reverse DDT. Kaiser distracts Ciampa, and Vinci takes advantage. Ciampa catches Vinci with a knee strike, and he locks in the Sicilian stretch. Vinci taps out. So Ciampa picks up the win. We have in the back, we have Byron Saxton interviews Seth Rollins, who says he's tired and in a lot of pain, and he's trying to keep it together, but he is losing his mind. He said he's sick of Nakamura's games. He says Nakamura is pushing him into a place that he doesn't want to go to, and maybe it's time that he takes his hands off the wheel. He's asked Nakamura to name the time, place, and the stipulation if he wants. He says their destinies are intertwined at this point. I'm actually liking this whole situation with Nakamura and Seth. It needs to be done. If it's not done by WrestleMania 40, you might as well just fucking keep the title and keep him home and make the fucking goddamn US title more prevalent on SmackDown. Main event time. Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre. The match begins with Drew attacks Jay in the corner. Jay fights back, but stopped by McIntyre, who hits a suplex. Cover 1-2 kick out. Drew chops Jay down and stops him. McIntyre attacks Jay in the corner. Jay sends Drew out of the ring and he dives onto him. Jay hits another suicide dive. The Judgment Day comes out to ringside. McIntyre with a right hand to Jay, and then he hits a suplex. Both men exchange strikes. McIntyre with a Glasgow kiss. Jay comes back with a Samoan drop. Drew rolls out of the ring. Jay goes for a suicide dive, but McIntyre catches him with a right hand. Drew hits a spinebuster, cover 1-2 kick out. Drew with a neck breaker to Jay. Damian Priest distracts Drew, and Jay superkicks him. Judgment Day are encouraging Jay. Jay superkicks Damian Priest, Finn Balor, and Dominic. Drew hits a Claymore for the win, and Drew McIntyre picks up the win. So Jay is not in Judgment Day. So now Rhea wants Jimmy now. She's going to get what she wants. Somebody's going to be going there. You got a guy, JD McDonough. Make him in it. Give him the shirt, what you have to do. After the match, the Judgment Day get in the ring. They attack Jay in the ring. Drew McIntyre walks away, and he tries to should I go back? Should I not go back? Or whatever. Then Cody comes out, and he attacks the Judgment Day. He hits a crossroads on Dominic as Judgment Day retreats, and that's the end of Raw. Please do me a favor, follow me on all social media. Please follow me on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook, and X. Please look me up on Cameo. If you want me to make an announcement, if you want me to do something, you want me to say something, you want me to sing a happy birthday, if you want me to say happy anniversary, a happy bar mitzvah, a happy christening, whatever the case may be, I will do it for you. And it's a low, low, low price of $5. On to AEW. Rampage from last week was broadcast from the Heritage Bank Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. We have the Lucha Brothers, Penta El Zeno Miedo and Rey Fenix, and the Hardy Boys versus Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, the Butcher, and the Blade. Interesting to see how these guys work together, said Tony Schiavone. Phoenix blasted Lethal with a missile dropkick. Phoenix took Butcher down with a thrust kick to the head. Jeff Hardy tagged in and worked over Butcher's shoulder. Matt tagged in and dropped an elbow on Butcher's arm. Matt continued to work over Butcher's arm. The Hardys double suplex Butcher and then the Blade. After some interference from Sonjay Dutt, Butcher and Jay Lethal got the advantage on Matt Hardy. Lethal drove Matt's spine into the corner. Jeff Jarrett nailed Matt Hardy with a Russian leg sweep. Blade tagged in and nailed Matt Hardy with a strikes in the corner. Matt Hardy desperately needed to make a tag as he was isolated in the opposing team's corner. Rey Fenix tagged in and cracked Blade with a kick and then a rolling cutter. Phoenix ran the top ropes and punted Lethal and Jarrett in the head. Penta El Zeno Miedo flipped over the top rope and wiped out Butcher. Lethal and Jarrett on the floor. Alex Abrahantes knocked Sonjay Dutt off the apron. Alex poked Kip Sabian in the eyes. Alex jumped off the top rope but was caught by Sadamon Singh. Rey Fenix and the Blade traded strikes in the center of the ring. Rey Fenix planted Blade right on his head and scored the victory pin. Sadamon Singh nailed Jeff and Matt on the top of the ramp. The Righteousness, Vincent, and Dutch walked out and stared at the Hardys. Have a great day, Chris. Thanks for joining. You can watch the rest of this some other time. That's the beauty of YouTube. Renee Paquette interviewed Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Baker said the last 3 months haven't gone as she planned. Baker said she is a championship material, and she said she's going to become the first female to hold the AEW Women's World Champion title and the TBS title. Whoever wins tonight, Jade or Chris, you will be wrestling me tomorrow night in the main event of Collision, said Baker. This is Jade Cargill's last match in AEW before she is reportedly in now WWE. The Kingdom, Matt Tavern and Mike Bennett versus the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal. Mike Bennett chopped Daniels. CD fired back with a dropped hold. Sydal tagged in and slammed Daniels on the top of Bennett. Matt Tavern tagged in and hit a barrage of kicks from Sydal. Sydal kicks are lethal, man, said Tony Schiavone. Daniels tagged back in and worked over Tavern. Bennett grabbed Daniels' leg, allowing Tavern to connect with a shot. Bennett ducked a roundhouse kick from Sydal. Tavern splashed Daniels in the corner. Tavern and Bennett used their combo finisher, the Proton Pack, and then Tavern pinned Daniels. Tavern, we have to rush back to the hospital. A poor friend, Roderick Strong, is suffering. He's in poor neck health, but I don't blame Samoa Joe. I blame Adam Cole. So what we want to do is take back what's rightfully ours, the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Bennett, Roddy, we're coming home, baby. Renee Paquette was backstage to interview the Mogul Embassy, Prince Nana, the Young Bucks putting their stinky feet in my face. Swerve Strickland, Bucks, you have a whole different energy about you ever since appearing on my podcast. And Hangman, you ran to the elite. We're going to handle business. The Gates of Agony and Brian Cage against the Hung Bucks at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. AEW World Trios Champion, The Acclaim, versus Peter Avalon and the Outrunners. I'm dead serious. I'm sick to death that they put the fucking titles on the Acclaim. There was nothing wrong with the House of Black. But what do I know? Billy Gunn had Turbo Floyd in his grip. Turbo Floyd chopped Billy down. Avalon chopped blocked Billy, but Billy tagged Bowens. Bowens drilled Avalon with a famouser. Billy body slammed Avalon. Bowens nailed Avalon with scissor mean timbers. Billy followed up with a famouser. Caster hit the mic drop and pinned Pretty Peter. The Dark Order walked onto the ramp after the match. John Silver says the Dark Order wanted the Trios Championships. Evil Uno said one of them will face one of the Acclaim tomorrow and prove that they are worth the Acclaim's time. Anthony Bowen says he accepts the challenge and the Dark Order could select a member of their own to face off tomorrow night on Collision. Pick whoever you want, said Bowens. Aussie Open. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis versus Damian Chambers and Lord Crew. Davis and Fletcher swarmed Chambers and Crew. Aussie served up Aussie sandwich. Crew was planted with a Corollas and Fletcher pinned him. Wrestling like two men with a point to prove. Aussie Open dominated tonight, said Excalibur. And I actually feel bad for them because they had dropped the titles to Cole and MJF. And I think that's disgusting. Main event time. TBS champion Chris Statlander versus Jade Cargill. They locked horns, went to a stalemate in the early goings. Jade hit Chris with a knee to the midsection. Britt Baker was watching on the match on the monitor backstage. Chris and Jade clobbered one another, trading lariats. Statlander caught Jade in and body slammed her. Statlander jumped off the apron with a crossbody, but Jade caught her and slammed her onto the apron. Jade and Chris jockeyed for position in the ring, battling over a suplex. Jade overpowered Chris and nailed her with a delayed vertical suplex. Great match. Both women leaving it all on the mat here, said Tony Schiavone. Statlander battered Jade in the corner. Chris followed up with a knee strike. Chris planted Jade with a blue thunder bomb for a near fall. Mark Sterling jumped up the apron. Chris ate a pump kick because of the distraction. Jade choke slammed Statlander for a near fall. Jade tried for a spear, but Chris dodged it. Chris spiked Jade with a inverted Friday Night Fever and pinned Jade Cargill. An incredible back and forth battle, but Chris Statlander leaves no doubt that she has earned the TBS championship. After the match, Jade and Chris hugged one another and out of respect. And I may be turning my thoughts on Jade Cargill. If she fucking keeps practicing and keeps doing her thing, who knows? I may give her a second chance. Everybody gets a second chance with me, you know. Impact got 5 chances, so it's this thing. If you try something and you don't like it, if you try it 7 times, 7 times you don't like it, you're just beating a dead horse. Give it an opportunity. I couldn't, for instance, back in the day, I could not stand peanut butter and jelly. Could not stand peanut butter and jelly. Now I will have a peanut butter and jelly. I won't go out of my way for it, but I will I don't mind the taste of it. I can eat it, and that'll be the end of it. Or I used to couldn't stand Taco Bell. Couldn't stand it. I wanted Jack in the Box. Now I'll eat. I love Taco Bell. It's or I used to what I couldn't I did not like going to where did I didn't like going couldn't stand going to like arts and crafts place. I could do that now. It's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. On to Collision. All right, Collision. Collision was coming from the Bryce Jordan Center in State College, PA. Started off with the Blackpool Combat Club, Daniel Bryan and the Ring of Honor World Champion Claudio Castagnoli versus Absolute Ricky Starks and Big Bill. Ricky Starks was playing mind games with Danielson and immediately tagged out to Big Bill before any contact made. Big Bill shoved Bryan in the corner and chopped away at him. Danielson dropkicked Big Bill's knee. Big Bill was thrown backwards into the corner. Claudio tagged in and Big Bill challenged him to a test of strength. Big Bill kicked Claudio in the midsection. Claudio clocked Big Bill with a European uppercut. Big Bill hit Claudio and Danielson with a double clothesline and tagged out to Starks. Danielson walloped Starks with a roundhouse kicks. Danielson unleashed a fury of offense in the corner. Starks distracted Danielson long enough for Big Bill to sneak a massive big boot to Danielson's head. Claudio and Big Bill tagged in for respective teams. Claudio served up multiple European uppercuts, staggering Big Bill. Claudio hoisted up Big Bill and dove him down onto the mat for a near fall. Claudio was looking for a big swing, but Big Bill escaped and choked slammed Claudio for a 2 count. Ricky Starks tagged in, but Claudio grabbed him and twirled him around the ring like a helicopter blades with the big swing. Danielson hit a tope suicida on Big Bill. Meanwhile, Starks transitioned into a DDT on Claudio for a near fall. Starks charged at Claudio, but Claudio countered with a devastating uppercut for a near fall. Danielson tagged in and dished out his trademark kicks to Starks. Danielson applied the label lock, but Starks escaped and speared Danielson. Claudio jumped in to break up the pin attempt. Danielson went for belly-to-belly suplex from the top rope, but Starks shifted his momentum mid-flight. Starks connected with a low blow. When the referee was distracted, Starks rocked Danielson with a Rochambeau and pinned Danielson. The Young Bucks were backstage with Hangman Adam Page. The Bucks and Page challenged the Mogul Embassy to a Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Championship match on Rampage Grand Slam next week. Powerhouse Hobbs says no one is safe in the next chapter in the Book of Hobbs. Hobbs, no one is safe. The Redeemer, Mioro, said Hobbs should be thanking him and they'll have to meet again someday. There are unfinished business between the two men. Miro questioned his God about the temptation of Miro and Miro's hot and flexible wife. AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, FTR, versus the Iron Savages, Bronson and Boulder. The fans chanted FTR, FTR, FTR. FTR quickly hit the Shatter Machine on Jack Jameson, who taunted Dax before the match began. Bronson and Boulder drilled Cash with suplexes, but Dax jumped in to break up the pin attempt. The Iron Savages clashed with a backbreaker and then a powerbomb for a near fall. Dax Harwood tagged in, but Boulder knocked him down with a shoulder tackle. Boulder went for a moonsault, but Dax dodged it. FTR rocked Bronson with a Shatter Machine. FTR finished off Boulder with a Power and Glory combo, with Cash scoring the pin. The Workhorsemen jumped into the ring after the match and challenged FTR to an upcoming title match. Aussie Open were watching backstage on the monitor. Lexi Nair was backstage with Keith who? Keith Lee? Wait a minute. Sounds familiar. Guy sounds awfully familiar. Do I know him? Oh, Bear Claw. Oh, I forgot about him. The interview was interrupted by Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty. Shane said Lee was the newest member of Shane Taylor's promotion. Lee got tense between Keith Lee and Shane Taylor promotion. The Acclaim, Anthony Bowens versus the Dark Order's John Silver. Before the match, John Silver grabbed the microphone. Silver, this contract you signed, I guess you didn't read it because it said Caster and Billy were banned from ringside, so hit the bricks. Silver attacked Bowens from behind. Bowens countered with strikes to Silver in the corner. Bowens body slammed Silver. Bowens took down Silver with a leg lariat. Bowens and Silver exchanged forearms. Bowens blasted Silver with a clothesline. Silver fired back with explosive offense, including a German suplex. Bowens clocked Silver with a knee strike. Silver rolled out of the ring. Evil Uno climbed out from beneath the ring and blindsided Bowens. Silver took advantage of this, cracked Bowens, and pinned him. What an upset, said Nigel. New Japan Strong Openweight Champion Eddie Kingston was backstage. Kingston said Claudio decided not to respect him. He left potholes in the road that many of us had to clean up. Renee told him to fix it, and I've been trying to fix it. You know that what, Claudio? This will be it. I don't care win or lose. This will be it. You think I'm going to let you come to New York and end this with my shoulders to the mat? You're out of your mind. All New York has my back. You ain't ready for this misery. Renee Paquette with Orange Cassidy and FTW champion Hook. Orange, you should do a tag match or something. Grand Slam. Hook. Let's do it. Aussie Open. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis versus Pretty Boy Smooth and Wes Barkley. United Empire Aussie Open made a quick work of their opponents and pinned Barkley after the pendulum spinebuster. Davis, FTR, are you paying attention? Fletcher, yesterday we did the job in under a minute, and I'm gonna guess we did it even quicker tonight. You talk about winning championships everywhere you've been, but so have Aussie Open. Right now, right here, we're calling our shot. October 1st, 2023, 1 year to the day since we last stepped into the ring together. Wrestle Dream, Seattle, live on pay-per-view, AEW Tag Team Championships on the line or not. Aussie Open versus FTR. I'm there. And you all know that I'm going to be covering the fucking events. You know that. I am so congested today. RJ City interviewed Toni Storm ahead of her match on Wednesday against AEW World Women's Champion Saraya. Toni Storm, I haven't changed. The business has. I thought this business was about being stars and making money. If it makes me the odd woman out, then so be it. Andrade El Idolo versus Scorpio Sky. Andrade offered to shake Scorpio's hand, but Sky declined. Andrade El Idolo worked over Sky's arm. Sky tripped up Andrade and they chain wrestled. Andrade El Idolo punished Sky with a dragon screw leg whip. Andrade climbed to the top turnbuckle, but Andrade shoved him off, with Andrade's back crashing onto the edge of the ring. Back in the ring, Andrade pummeled Sky with a series of dragon screw leg whips. Sky rallied back with a flip over the top rope, crashing onto Andrade El Idolo. Sky got up, clutching his knee. Not the best of landings, said Kevin Kelly. Back in the ring, Andrade rocketed Sky with a vicious back elbow. Andrade locked on a figure eight, and Scorpio Sky tapped out. Bullet Club Gold, Switchblade, Jay White walked out with the guns, and rock hard Juice Robinson. Jay White, I wasn't there last week. I was watching my boys and here last week, but I was watching my boys. And I was watching you watching my boys. It looks like you were having a lot of fun watching the Bang Bang Gang. Andrade, these are my boys. You can't have them. But I think you want that Switchblade spotlight. Everybody wants it. No one can handle it. How about next week? You can learn firsthand, and those lights are too bright. This is the Switchblade era. And if it doesn't work for you, we can do it right now. Security had to separate Andrade El Idolo and Jay White. Tony Schiavone was backstage with the ROH Pure Champion Shibata. And it was being translated by his iPhone. Today, I'm one of the best wrestlers in the world. October 1st at Wrestle Dream, I'm coming. The Hardys versus the Righteous. You could feel the momentum starting to build with Matt and Jeff, said Kevin Kelly. Vincent grounded and pounded Matt Hardy. Matt got up and ran Vince's head into the turnbuckle. Jeff tagged in and connected with a jawbreaker on Vincent. Dutch got a blind tag and planted Matt and with a blackout slam. Matt rallied back with a side effect to Vincent. Jeff tagged in and cleaned house on the Righteous. Matt and Jeff knocked Dutch over the top rope with a double clothesline. Jeff was looking for a swanton bomb, but Dutch knocked him down. Vincent rocked Jeff and pinned him. Can you believe it? The night of upsets like no other, said Nigel. Dutch, we are the Righteous, two believers who see the truth in liars' eyes. Vincent, speaking of the truth, we just defeated one of the greatest tag teams in the world. And like it or not, the people in the world are just prisoners of false icons, fooled by the con man, listening to the devil on their shoulder. But I don't believe in the devil, man. We are here to tell the truth. Vincent made it clear that the righteous wants a piece of the team of better than you, baby. So they're gunning for MJF and Adam Cole. Tony Schiavone was backstage with Absolute Ricky Starks and Big Bill. Starks, Bryan Danielson next week on Collision. It's you and me in a Texas death match. I'm going to put the whole world, and I'm going to put a whole end to this fiasco that's known as Daniel Bryan. Bryan Danielson. Oh my God. Main event time, Chris Statlander versus Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, for the TBS Championship. Statlander had strength advantage and body slammed Baker. Britt fired back with forearms. Things broke down and traded strikes with one another after dodging a sling blade attempt. Statlander power slammed Baker for a near fall. Statlander took down Champ with two sling blades. Chris rallied back with a Blue Thunder bomb for a near fall. Chris planted her with another bomb for a 2 count. Baker curb stomped Chris. Baker applied her surgical glove. Baker was looking for a lockjaw, but Chris blocked it. They got their feet and traded shots again. Chris blocked Baker with a high kick, but Baker fired back with a thrust kick of her own. Statlander reared back and walloped Baker with a lariat. Baker for a Pittsburgh Sunrise, but Statlander blocked it. Chris went for a power bomb, but Baker escaped. Baker planted Chris with an angel wings and followed up with a curb stomp for a near fall. Baker managed to apply the lockjaw, but Statlander cradled and pinned her. That was a hell of a counter. She saved her championship, said Jim Ross. Julia Hart was watching from the rafters. I wouldn't mind seeing Julia Hart. She's put in her time. She deserves it. So we're heading to Dynamite Grand Slam, which was in Arthur Ashe Stadium, which was in my backyard, legitimately. And it was crazy over there. Holy shit. We were over at Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York, New York. We started off title for title, ROH Championship. World Champion Claudio Castagnoli versus the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Champion Eddie Kingston. Ian Riccaboni was able to do commentary for this match. Claudio rushed at Eddie and booted him in the face. They traded chops and forearms. The fight spilled outside the ring. Eddie whipped Claudio into a steel guardrail. Eddie headbutted Claudio, but Claudio fired back with a lariat. Back in the ring, Claudio gut-wrenched Eddie nearly into a doctor bomb, planting him hard onto the mat. Eddie German suplexed Claudio. Eddie tried for a back fist, but Claudio countered with the crown of his head. Claudio back suplexed Eddie Kingston on the ramp. Claudio clotheslined Eddie over the top rope and back on into the ring. Claudio double stomped down on the left arm of Claudio. Eddie moved out of the way, and Claudio of the way of Claudio's diving headbutt. I'm sorry. Claudio entered Eddie into the battered Eddie. Claudio battered Eddie in the quarter turnbuckle. Claudio nailed Eddie with a TKO for a near fall. Claudio blasted Eddie with boots to the face. Kingston baited Claudio and nailed Claudio with a 2 suplexes for a 2 count. Eddie fired off straight right to Claudio's jaw. knocking Claudio to his knees. Claudio answered with a right hand of his own. Claudio staggered Eddie and with European uppercuts. Claudio headbutted Eddie, followed up with a short arm lariat. Claudio went for a Ricola bomb, but Eddie reversed for a near fall. Claudio hit a Ricola bomb, but Eddie kicked at the two count. The crowd was coming unglued in support of their own Eddie Kingston, said Excalibur. Eddie clocked Claudio with a three back fists, followed up with a Northern Light bomb for a near fall on Claudio. Kingston fired off another back fist and then powerbombed Claudio for the pinfall and the victory. We have a new AEW Ring of Honor World Champion, and it's Eddie Kingston. Claudio extended his hand, and Eddie accepted it. The code of honor was adhered to. It was a great moment in the long history of Dynamite, said Tony Schiavone. We have footage was shown earlier of Kingdom watching over an injured Roderick Strong in the hospital bed. Adam came to visit. Where have you been? Asked Matt Tavern. Cole said he got here as fast as he could. Cole, I'm glad you're doing okay, but I have to go. Max has a huge match against Samoa Joe. Roderick Strong, just go. Just freaking go. Renee Paquette was backstage with Christian Cage and the TNT champion Luchasaurus. Christian Cage, Rampage, Grand Slam. We are going to walk through Sting and Darby Allin. And Darby, I'm ready to move on. I am bored with you. I have a little proposition for you, Darby. This Saturday on Collision, how about you step in the ring for a three-way match for the TNT Championship against me and Luchasaurus? If you want this shot, Darby, then Sting isn't allowed at ringside. Is this the way that he's going to be legitimately the TNT champion? Chris Jericho versus Sammy Guevara. Montezzi wrapped Sammy to the ring. Sammy was wearing a light-up vest, an homage to Chris Jericho when he faced Shawn Michaels 21 years ago. Once they said that, I knew what the fuck was going to happen. It was fucking goddamn fucking Stevie Wonder could see the fucking thing. Sammy and Jericho exchanged chops right out of the gate. Jericho tripped and Sammy seized the moment with a corkscrew dropkick. Jericho hoisted up Sammy with an underhook and then hit a backbreaker. Sammy fired back with a corkscrew tornillo over the top rope onto Jericho on the arena floor. Jericho countered the GTH attempt with a code breaker. Jericho suplexed Sammy off the apron and down onto the arena floor. Back in the ring, Sammy lured in Jericho for a Spanish fly for a near fall. Jericho retaliated with two nasty lariats. Sammy grabbed Jericho and smashed his face with a code breaker for a 2 count. Sammy charged at Jericho, knocking Jericho off the apron and onto the front of the announcer's desk. Sammy jumped off the top rope with a moonsault onto Jericho. Sammy connected with a cutter. Both men have gone through a lot in their short amount of time, said Schiavone. Jericho countered GTH with the wall. Sammy twisted his hips and escaped. Sammy cracked Chris with a rising knee strike. Sammy and Jericho jockeyed for position on the top turnbuckle. Sammy got the upper hand with a cutter off the top rope. Sammy attempted a top rope lionsault, but Jericho countered by raising his knees. Jericho hit a running bulldog on Sammy. Jericho nailed Sammy with a lionsault for a near fall. Sammy caught Jericho with a GTH. Sammy went for a shooting star press, but Jericho countered with a code breaker to score the win. Jericho and Sammy hugged after the match. Sammy kicked Jericho with a low blow, a la Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. So, what have you done, Sammy said Excalibur. Don Callis walked down the ramp into the ring. Don Callis patted Sammy on the shoulder, and the two men left the ring together. Earlier in the day, MJF pulled up to the arena in an exotic sport car with Adam Cole. MJF had strong words for Samoa Joe. Adam Cole's phone rang, and when he answered it, it was Roderick Strong. Cole and Strong told Strong to calm down and walked away from MJF to console Roddy. Renee Paquette tried to interview Sammy Guevara and Don Callis backstage. Don said all would be revealed Friday on Rampage, so it gets you to watch Rampage now. This is what we want. And now on my tune into Rampage because I want to know what the hell went on. Daniel Garcia got into Sammy's face, but Callis insisted and they walked away. AEW International Championship match, Jon Moxley versus Rey Fenix. Phoenix met Moxley on the ramp and began to brawl before the bell even rang. Phoenix jumped off the ramp over the cameraman onto Moxley on the arena floor. Moxley rocked Phoenix with a forearm and stomped him face first into the mat. Moxley grounded and pounded Rey Fenix. Moxley tossed Phoenix over the barricade. Moxley drilled Rey Fenix with a draping DDT on the arena floor. Phoenix is a world of hurt right now from Mox, said Taz. Rey Fenix caught Mox flush in the face with a kick and then followed up with a cutter. Rey Fenix frog splashed Mox for a near fall. Rey Fenix charged at Moxley, but Moxley wiped him out with a King Kong lariat. Phoenix propped Moxley onto a steel barricade, draping him over it. Rey Fenix jumped off the top rope and landed Moxley with a leg drop to the back of the head. Back in the ring, Moxley regained momentum with a Gotch-style pile driver, but Rey retaliated with a diving double foot stomp for a 2 count. Moxley curb stomp. Thank you, Seth Boy. Stomped Rey Fenix onto the stage. Moxley spiked Phoenix with a pile driver for a 2 count. Rey Fenix hit Moxley with a senton on Timoko and then a pile driver. Phoenix hit a second pile driver and pinned Moxley, and we have a new AEW International Champion in Rey Fenix. That wasn't supposed to happen. Moxley was supposed to retain. Moxley has a concussion, so he'll be out. Good. Fucking Renee, go take your vacation. Take a fucking vacation. Tony Khan will allow you to have a week or 2 off. Get the hell out of here. Take your little baby and go. It's a blessing in disguise. Trust me. AEW Women's World Championship match. Saraya versus Toni Storm. Saraya slapped Toni in the face. Toni smiled and chopped at Saraya. After the distraction from Ruby, Saraya capitalized with a thrust kick to Toni. Toni swept out the leg of Saraya. As the ref was distracted, Toni Storm cracked Saraya in the head with a high-heel shoe for a near fall. Toni Storm pulled off the bottom turnbuckle pad. Toni had a can of spray paint, but Ruby grabbed it out of Toni's hand and tossed it to Saraya. Saraya sprayed it in Toni's eyes and went for the pin after a DDT, but Toni kicked out. Saraya grabbed Toni to ram her head into the exposed turnbuckle, but Saraya didn't have the heart to do it. Toni Storm grabbed Saraya, kissed her in the mouth, and then spiked her with a Storm Zero for a 2 count. Saraya dodged the hip attack and nailed Toni with the nightcap, grabbing the pinfall victory. Do I care? Absolutely not. This match was ridiculous. We have the main event time. AEW World Champion match. MJF versus the Ring of Honor World TV Champion Samoa Joe. The fans chanted, "He's our scumbag. He is our scumbag. And he's my scumbag. And he is the devil." And I'm from Long Island. I'm a Long Island born and bred, and I've been here all my life. I have to support the Long Island boy. And I don't care what happens. So MJF thumbed Samoa Joe in the eye. MJF jumped on the back of Samoa Joe, but Joe shrugged him to the mat. Tony Schiavone pointed out that Adam Cole was not at ringside for MJF's match. despite Adam Cole promising MJF he'd be there for him tonight. Samoa Joe began to work over MJF's neck. MJF thumbed Samoa Joe in the eye again. Joe ran MJF over with a boot to the head. Samoa Joe attempted the muscle buster, but MJF escaped. MJF staggered Samoa Joe with 3 short arm lariats. MJF went for a fourth, but Samoa Joe swung for the fences and nearly decapitated MJF with a lariat. Samoa Joe headbutted MJF, but MJF fired up, and raked Samoa Joe's back. MJF hammered Samoa Joe with punches to the head. MJF bit down on Samoa Joe's forehead. MJF connected with the kangaroo kick. MJF ran for a tope, but Samoa Joe countered it with a kick. Samoa Joe spiked MJF with a Death Valley driver on the apron. That'll change a man's career, said Taz. Samoa Joe pulled the table from beneath the ring. Samoa Joe pulled MJF out of the ring and planted him through the table. Samoa Joe can feel the AEW World Championship in his grasp, said Excalibur. Samoa Joe pulled the padding from the floor, exposing the concrete beneath it. Samoa Joe was looking for a pile driver, but MJF bit him. MJF attempted a pile driver, but he had to let it go because of his neck. His injured neck began to spasm. Samoa Joe stuck MJF with a pile driver on the exposed concrete. Samoa Joe told MJF to give it up, but MJF spat it at Samoa Joe. MJF pulled a Liger bomb out of nowhere on Samoa Joe for a near fall. The fans chanted, "This is awesome, this is awesome, this is awesome." Samoa Joe traded strikes in the center of the ring. Samoa Joe applied the sleeper. MJF pulled the ref close, and while the ref was distracted, MJF kicked back with a low blow to Samoa Joe. MJF pulled out the dynamite diamond ring from his trunks. MJF was about to clock Samoa Joe with the dynamite diamond ring, but Samoa Joe pulled the ref in front of him. The ref was spotted the illegal object. As Paul Turner threw the diamond ring out to the outside, Samoa Joe kicked MJF with a low blow. Samoa Joe nailed MJF with the muscle buster, but somehow MJF kicked out at 2. Samoa Joe applied the sleeper. Adam Cole sprinted down to the ring and tried to motivate MJF. MJF dove to his feet. MJF applied the sleeper, but Joe shoved MJF in the corner, and Adam Cole jumped on the ring apron. Samoa Joe tried to take a swing at Adam. As Samoa Joe and the ref had their backs turned, MJF used his wrist tape around Samoa Joe's neck. MJF choked out Samoa Joe, and the referee stopped the match, with MJF retaining. MJF dropped the evidence, and Adam Cole quickly picked it up and hid it in his pocket. Samoa Joe got to his feet and shoved Adam Cole. MJF jumped in between them, acting as a human shield. Samoa Joe offered his hand to MJF. Samoa shook MJF's hand, giving the devil his due. And we are coming from next Wednesday from the First Bank Center in Bloomfield, Colorado. So that is that. And that is that for episode 307. I hope everybody's going to have a great Friday. I can't believe I have really good internet for the first time, and hopefully I don't have to worry about it. So that means I can go live. I can go do review shows. I can do preview and predictions. I can actually go live and don't have to worry, fingers crossed. I want everybody to have a great Friday. Please do me a favor and go check out Maestro Classics at maestroclassics.com. Go check out Liquid Death at liquiddeath.com. Go check out Deathwish Coffee at deathwishcoffee.com. Go check out HOG Wrestling at hogwrestling.net. And please do me a favor. Go check me out on my social media, which is Instagram, Threads, Facebook, TikTok, X, Twitter, and now I am on Cameo. $5, and I'll drop it in. I'll drop a bomb on your loved ones, your friends, whatever the case may be. You can even congratulate them on a new job or whatnot, and I will do all the dirty work for you. It's $5. It's cheaper than a fucking card. Trust me. So please, I want everybody to have a great weekend. I will be back here at 2 p.m. next week for episode 308. And we're going to be, I believe, getting ready for No Mercy. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to actually do a preview and prediction, but since I can go live, I may surprise you. So you just look for everything and, whatnot, you know. So remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I will be back here next week. Please have a great week. And I love you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.